Hello, everyone. I'm Jamie Price. Happy March. This year is moving in an interesting way. Ariane, the Lyran Council of Time that I channel, is calling 2020 the year of following your heart. And we've actually been having a lot of transformation in the throat chakra and the third eye in these early months of the year. So you may find that speaking up for yourself or taking actions that support you is more prevalent right now because of the throat chakra changes. And with the third eye, you might find that new perceptions or aha moments are happening. I found myself amping up my personal inner work and seeing that change manifesting in some slightly challenging ways, but they are worth it. And of course, some really wonderful ways. January brought up connections, and Gabriel's horn was the harbinger of our divinity aligning with our humanity more. And that's what Ascension is all about. Then February was a powerful month with the energies of clarity. And I found that the resolution or resolve aspect of clarity particularly strong. And here we are at March as we move into the month of the equinox. I was given the energies of March as freedom. And this is interesting because Ariane called last year the year of freedom. And these first 2 months of 2020 felt like deep shift in our subtle realm, which of course creates new power. And this month feels like it takes that power into application with a slightly interesting twist. Let's start with some aspects of freedom that are important. First, freedom is a subtle energy. Your inner realm is where your true freedom resides because you can't always control the conditions of the physical realm, the external. But you do have full domain in your inner realm when you create it. And Ariane talks about this a lot from the perspective of making choice. When you observe or experience something, you take that information into you. It becomes part of your vibration. So either it controls you and how you respond, or you shift that information by transforming it with your love, forgiveness, new focus, desire. So your inner realm is where your freedom resides. And freedom is a state of mind that creates more neutrality. And this ties into that next important aspect of freedom, which relates back to January energies of connection. Neutrality is the great connector. It's like the neutron in the nucleus of the atom that creates the stability for the positive and the negative particles to connect, which is how new form builds with that wholeness, that completion. So when you're neutral, your energy field is open to new information, you're open to change, expansion, transformation. Neutrality is the freedom from polarizing into resistance about what is. So that freedom from contracting away from life. And that resistance can limit your creativity. It limits your freedom. And March will be helping you to find the strength to be more neutral with life. Now, I want to talk about the vision I was given for the March energies, and then I'll cover the next important aspect of freedom. These past 2 months, there has been a lot of shift around the throat and the third eye. This month, I was shown the heart chakra amplifying and creating a burst of energy through the throat, which was also affecting the old brain, the autonomic fear response. And that throat chakra opening wider and our divine creativity is continuing to amp up. So let's talk about our divine creative freedom. The time now is ripe to support more empowered sovereignty. But that is taken. You take it like a breath. You don't steal it from someone else. You take it like a breath of life. And you let that enliven you as it mixes with your energetic information. You transform it, and then you give it. You exhale. And you're giving that to life, imbued with your love flowing into the world. Your freedom, your neutrality is the powerful ability to sustain love within as you interact with life and life is interacting with you. You stay as neutral as possible because that's what allows that connection of something positive that you're taking in to mix with your energy and something negative or undesired that you may be observing or experiencing. That neutrality allows that to connect with your love, your positivity. And that's how it gets transformed. That openness, that neutrality allows you to connect with that new perspective. Now, I want to talk about what was the interesting twist to the March energies for me. Ariane gave me a specific exercise that I found I was a little resistant to at first, which I'm fine with that. I'm a healthy skeptic, but I was willing to try it. And of course, I'm glad I did. This relates to the final aspect of freedom that I want to focus on for now. Your willingness and your ability to play. And this was a surprising one for me. And it's also intertwined with the light language transmission that we'll talk about later. Ariane gave me the exercise of when I notice any feeling of limitation or challenge to say to myself, ooh, fun. Simple, sometimes annoying, but I actually love the exercise. I'm rather practiced at looking at a challenge and thinking, oh, interesting. Like, in essence, engaging my mental perceptions to be more open to solving a puzzle, which of course can be fun. But Ariane is pointing to focusing more on the fun of it. Let it be more playful, more joyful. Kind of like what they said a few months ago. How willing are you to return to your joy? My initial resistance to this exercise was thinking about a challenge that maybe I should take more seriously and not honoring the severity of it. And this is an important side effect I wasn't quite expecting. Sometimes when we feel like we have to constrict our joy because of a challenge, we're saying to ourselves that we aren't free to enjoy the journey. We're wrong to feel positivity or have hope in the midst of challenge. And of course, there are situations that you don't naturally feel joyful about. Be reasonable with this. It's not about suppressing the potential of joy. It's opening you up so that that joy can flow because it's a powerful catalyst for change. And they're pointing out that life is more of a play, a game that we often take too seriously. So we're not denigrating challenges. It's about elevating your creativity and your joy. And that is a relative scale. But I've been working with this for about 5 days now. And in general, I feel more joyful. I feel more playful. I feel more enlivened. Like there's more chi flowing. Like the things that I take in, I have more natural strength to deal with them. And I've been feeling a lot of first and second chakra shifting because of this focus. So in March, when you notice any resistance within, treat it like a fun puzzle, a game, an opportunity by saying to yourself, ooh, fun. And of course, sometimes it might feel irreverent or it may not always apply. But overall, it's changing your inner information to be more open to your powerful love. It's helping you build your freedom and follow your heart. You are love in human form, and let your joyful life shine freely into your life and then into this world. I'm excited to be teaching light language in a few days. That class is sold out, and we are working on setting up a September class. I will be doing a Lyran Perspective teleclass in March. And last month, one of the things that Ariane spoke about that I want to share with you as they were focusing on clarity in February was the power of allowing. In essence, softening the mental focus so that you can receive the information of life responding to you. And this is an important step because we can get into a habit of action without the clarity of how that action is being received by life, the signals that life is sending us. And this is why neutrality is so important, so we don't miss those clues of what manifestation is forming. And allowing is just a moment in time. So it helps you get fuller information so you can make clearer choices. Of course, I will also be doing a monthly energies teleclass. This one is definitely going to be fun because every time I tap into it, I just feel this flow of joy. So bringing your joyful freedom to a new level. And I will be teaching crystalline soul healing right here in Sedona in July. And this is a modality that I created with my non-physical guide team. It's a Lyran method of healing, and it works through the higher self utilizing an alchemical template. It's a really fun and easy way to create a lot of transformation. So if you're interested in any of those classes, please visit the website. Now, let's talk about the light language. Interesting flow with this one. Very intense. A lot going on in the head, the back of the second chakra. The energy in this one felt very Sirian and some Arcturian influence. So those Sirians, they're very closely related to our DNA and a lot of nurturing and teaching. And then the Arcturians, very supportive energy for us, a lot of emotional healing. And this had a strengthening of our focus, so much so that there was a physical sense of tension in many parts, along with this beautiful teaching about tension. And you receive this on a deep level, and your higher self helps that to unfold and release and activate perfectly for you. But even that focus of tension was sometimes teaching about attention. Where attention goes, energy flows. That tension, whether it's a mental tension, you're focusing on something with your attention, or it's a physical tension, that is what is leading to an explosion or a response, a reaction of new possibility, new pleasure. Just like the lungs contract during an exhale leads to another life-giving breath, another inspiration. Ooh, fun. This transmission was a deep teaching of our power, and it had this beautiful juxtaposition of the positive and the negative. Like when we can shift how we perceive that negative, which is why Ariane gave that exercise of, ooh, fun when we're having a challenge. That tension is what creates that release into the new, that relief, that pleasure. So you're using the full flow of life to step up, flowing your love into your life, mainly feeling that joyful, creative freedom of being alive. It's why you're here, to create your most powerful self, your most powerful life, your most powerful light. All of this your divine birthright. So in March, you're focusing on more joyful freedom. So leave a comment below of what freedom you want to create in your life. Use that throat chakra energy and state it out into the world. I love your comments. I read each one. And when you state an intention of what you want, I spend a moment flowing energy to that for you as well. It's really a special time for me. So leave those comments there of what you want to create, because that's what life wants for you. You creating more life, more joy. Have a powerful March and enjoy the light language.
Amshad sandat erud toma karat horat adaina amshad ton sarat naro bak it rutsanchad iterud hainkat tayrat noma atsarash dairut numa kerat tayr ukwa kanjarat sadat himbabayat orandat irat grande eronamp nairut kamp kenjurat sut tom kait et ederut. When a nom sat sharat, can diet rodoma chad daira hak dairu, wambeb can diet unumba chair so. Hanjorum kairat nan hacharat nok lele kamba kuakar, kairat achund teknarum bak tairat gnam hakwa, komba kachatayut kanda dairat chanderat sombak jer nat idet kurtak eklegle ich uruk maktek okwa kambak dat orindak tairat dandot chansanim Rumba nema humba rene hanjarat kwar ngair dat o satsad sharit nanet et roma Hamairot nun sharat suklail hit gairot no orat kumbari taktun sharat sanamat natati te ekirat orendon samjarat na karayat okwa gayat oran sharat saknaro makat derut on nair orandam ngteret aknel ema kwam Orm så storat sad nor tailel in janot grorim be. Hanone mem at so chortet etser. Horen så steirot og no året og det glal en jom sorat an and årendot. Og no berot kwa en kort en atot sadat og no krairo o. Han beir og restor og kodset in ekodom bakteriet og eno. Året na året chat sonand årum det glal o. Kairot an årum badairat an antjara og sanatak nem henne eno o. Gaurat nairat schatsa tindigdet od unum. Karon dambat sut shandir nia korete etsat. Orm der nad orm dot sut. Jordan sut doer dom bakair grail lam jarat sun dur ned urundo oa maurat okwa. Tar danut sut chat okdo do no. O so sum stand Kom bij zo trond door dat in mem actoret de chut en daar rood lom jerk zou oren knairat hakter het somsha daar rood dat oma daar zo schon dat zoekt hoort en tot mem ek chairot orem kan daar het enem zo stoot zoet tid orend kan hem zo stand orend nem